Center. This place is rocking. Getting ready to watch the Marquette Golden Eagles and the Providence Friars in Big East Conference action. It's National Marquette Day, everybody, along with Doug Gottlieb, Jeff Levering with you courtside, and Doug for Providence. They are trending in the right direction despite losing a couple of games in a row. For Marquette, they've lost 3 in a row, but they've got the crowd behind them in what feels like a must-win game.
No question. A team that rarely loses at home has lost at home. The back end of their schedule, Jeff, is soft. It's soft, but you can't get those wins. That they don't matter at all for the selection committee if you don't beat the likes of Providence. And a win here will give them a sweep of the Friars in the regular season.
Our starting lineups presented by Jeep Grand Cherokee. Kyron Cartwright is the guy for the Friars that needs to get it going tonight.
He hit a donut. 0 for 9 from the floor in their loss to Seton Hall. He is, without any question, their alpha, their leader. And, of course, going against Marcus Howard, the young sophomore who had 52 the last time these two teams did battle.
Exactly 1 month ago today at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence is when Howard went for his 52. Froling and Khalif Young to tip it off, and Marcus Howard will corral it. And Marquette's offense had a tough one against Butler last time out, lost by 20 to the Bulldogs. Trying to bounce back after that tough game. Andrew Rousey went for 0 in that game. First time ever as a starter, he was shut out. Hauser, and inside to Froling, and Froling lays it up and in over Bullock.
And I went to walk through to watch Steve Wojciechowski's team get ready. That play was actually designed to get Marcus Howard an open three-point shot, but Froling ends up scoring in the low post. This offense, once they get rolling in transition, is as difficult to contain as any in college basketball. The troubles are in the half-court offensively and at this end of the floor.
2 guards, Howard and Rousey, 2 of the most prolific scorers in all the country. As a tandem, as Bullock draws Hauser as his defensive assignment. Bullock, tough shot, and got it to roll in. My goodness, what a start for Rodney Bullock, and a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Are you kidding? Rodney Bullock, a little bit undersized as opposed, going against Froling, who closes space. And that one falls in. It's been that kind of week and a half for Marquette basketball.
It really has, and they've drawn a tough schedule here of late. 3 straight losses, Xavier, Villanova, and then Butler.
And what I was getting to in the open, and I might have stuttered and stammered along because Duke lost in Cameron Square Garden and Kansas lost at home, and we're all trying to figure out what's going on here early in February, is that Marquette has had the tough part of their schedule in the Big East in the early part of their schedule. They got St. John's twice. They still have Georgetown. They got Creighton twice still. Not that Creighton's an easy win, but Creighton at home is a much more winnable game than, for example, Villanova that they put so much into. But those wins don't necessarily matter as much in the eyes of the committee if you can't sweep a Providence, a team with a very high RPI.
Hauser from the elbow, so important to get him going early.
And Sam Hauser, of course, his brother is going to join him next year on campus here in Milwaukee.
Hauser, 3rd best scorer on this roster behind the 2 guards, Rousey and Howard. Kyron Cartwright gives it up and throws it away. Talking with Ed Cooley beforehand, before we talk about Ed Cooley, what he said about Kyron Cartwright. Steve Wojciechowski has not been pleased, especially the last game defensively against Butler. Expect better on that end of the floor tonight.
And he also talked about playing with more joy, having more fun. It's a lot more fun when you're scoring more buckets.
Howard early contested and blocked away by Khalif Young. Now Bullock fires away, wide open 3, rimmed in and out. Rousey with the offside rebound. Marquette wanting to push. Hauser wide open. Oh, I didn't hear him call it, but it counts the same.
It's Marquette Day. Take it if you're Sam Hauser. But that's why this team is so hard to cover. Right? Rousey, great shooter. Howard, great shooter. And you run down and you cover the paint, and their big guys can step out and shoot the basketball.
Kyron Cartwright's first shot off the mark, and Cartwright put up 0, as well as his teammate Jalen Lindsey last time out against Seton Hall. And a foul on Khalif Young. And Ed Cooley, he was not shy on saying, hey, we go as Cartwright goes earlier today.
One of the most enjoyable human beings to be around in college basketball. And to people who watch Fox Sports 1, when we mic'd up Ed Cooley and Dave Lato in what was a one-possession game in Providence's win in Chicago, you got a chance to see that.
Buries a three, guy not known for shooting threes. Just his third make of the year.
One of the young, talented Marquette, I'm going to say Warriors. You can say Golden Eagles, you can say Hilltoppers. This is a very young team with the exception of Rousey.
They play older than their age would indicate as Alpha Diallo airballs his first shot. Could not have asked for a better start with a full house tonight as Howard couldn't handle the pass from Hauser. But this is the start Wojo wanted.
And you see them transitioning 5 guys as one. Keep an eye with Marquette. They like to set what's called transition drag screens. Ball screens in transition. Really difficult to cover. And Providence spent a ton of time going over it in their own pregame. And of course, that's part of what triggers Marquette's offense.
Alpha Diallo career high his last time out as Rousey nearly fell down, able to get his feet back to cover up Cartwright. And look down low to Young on Froling. Khalif Young with the left hand. It's a true shot from the sophomore.
He's got a nice, soft touch. Good left hand. Plays well within Providence's offense.
Ended an 8-0 run for Marquette. Froling going to work on Bullock down low. Finds the cutter. Howard finishes at the rim. He's got his first points. Providence trying to answer, down by 7. Jalen Lindsey. Good to get him going, too. He was the other starter for Providence that had no points against Seton Hall. Just a true shooter, Jalen Lindsey, a senior.
Polar opposite styles, though, with Providence. They climb into you defensively. They are big, long, and old, as opposed to Marquette.
And Howard wanted to go up with it, got a little confused, but man, off to a great start in Milwaukee.
Happy Marquette day, right? We'll take one off the glass, and then arguably the least effective shooter on the team makes one. Marquette up 5 early. What's made even more impressive is Marcus Howard's still only 18 years old. He doesn't turn 19 until March. And of course, the great sniper from Friars Pass, Marshawn Brooks, previously was alone atop the Big East single game scoring mark, and it was tied by the young sophomore.
The youngest of 3 brothers. Kid had to grow up in a hurry going against the likes of his brother Jordan, who is starring at Central Arkansas now. Tied with Andrew Rousey for the active 3-point lead as Rousey forces the turnover and instead a late kick call by the officials.
Yeah, Rousey saw he got away with it, and James Breeden might have called it a second, just a tad late, but now here's the difference, right? Rousey's 23 years old. He screws up the whole average of the team.
He's been around a long time. Rousey, guy who chats with the referees before every single game because he knows them all. He's been around forever. 5th-year senior, transfer from UNC Asheville. The 3-ball from the wing is short by Malik White. And Theo John pulls down the board. A fun matchup to watch. A couple of freshmen, Theo John and Nate Watson down low. 2 big bruisers in this conference for a long time. And an offensive foul called on Sakar Anim with a bad screen.
But when you're running all these handoffs and Jalen Lindsey smartly kind of flops, you can set kind of a moving screen, but you can't get away with Anim's shoulder as he set there.
Watson banging on Theo John. Nice job by John, forcing the turnover. Marquette, this is where they thrive in transition.
What a pass.
Theo John pays it off. Marquette firing on all cylinders early.
Now, Theo John gets the reward, but that was Nate Watson struggling to get back on defense, and Howard with a beautiful bounce pass.
Cartwright. And now the open J, too strong. Bullock offensive rebound. Cartwright still has not made a shot, and he's been ice cold the last 2 games. Rousey, a little shake and bake. Ooh. Tough shot, and Bullock just too big for Rousey.
He's just too big. Rousey has to shoot it quickly in transition.
And then no call. Verticality called by the officials. Malik White didn't like it. Howard thought about it momentarily. These Marquette guards, they'll shoot from wherever. Range is unlimited. A poke away on the backside.
Providence did a great job of matching them.
Jalen Lindsey now. He gets one to rattle in. 4-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Jalen Lindsey, fourth leading scorer on this team, averaging just under 10 a game. Lindsey's already got 5 points. Hauser thought Howard was going to cut to the hoop instead, and Hauser throws it away as Elliott and Kane check in for Annam and Howard. Rodney Bullock will get a break as Isaiah Jackson, the junior, checks in for the Friars. Doug, you're seeing what Marquette has the ability to do when they play at this tempo, and they're finally getting shots to drop. They can play with anybody.
Right, and they still haven't even gotten anything out of Marcus Howard. You know, he's got a couple turnovers and hasn't played all that well.
Greg Elliott tried to get out in front of Alpha Diallo and commits the personal.
Well, Greg Elliott, one of the young freshmen who, I mean, look, he looks like a high school junior in terms of his thickness, but has a chance to be a special player here for Marquette. The second he comes in the game, Alpha Diallo takes him to low post. That's recognition of personnel by the Providence staff.
On the floor for Marquette, 2 sophomores and 3 true freshmen. Just the youth and a mismatch here. Watson over the top of Elliott, and just too easy.
How good is that from the Providence staff? And Ed Cooley is a lot of things. He's a great personality. He's taken them to 4 straight NCAA tournaments.
Marcus Howard on cue. A timeout called by Ed Cooley. And Marcus Howard, he's engaged.
Well, there's a reason Ed Cooley called timeout. Kid had 52 last time. Can't leave him alone. Marquette still at 5.
5-point lead for the home team against Providence, and Ed Cooley noticed something on the lack of switching, and Ed Cooley was talking about it before the game today. We have to switch on these guys.
Every time, or at least if you're going to hedge, and in that case, I believe it's Khalif Wyatt. You have to stay with Marcus Howard until his man recovers. And you can see Ed Cooley still hot at Nate Wilson. Nate Wilson must have been the violator. And he jumped up, called timeout, which you can't do in a sellout, especially against a team that's so offensive-minded like Marquette, is give up a 3, then give up another one, then give up another one.
3 for 3 from distance today, and all from Howard, Hauser, and then Sakar Annam. Trying to get Bullock going, get a mismatch with Greg Elliott on him. Oh, Theo John into the 3rd row.
The recognition of Marquette using younger players like Elliott. Greg Elliott's just too thin, too slight to guard Rodney Bullock in that low post. And Theo John coming over late to help.
That was not a freshman type of block. Nice job by Marcus Howard finding White. Alpha Diallo from 3 as the horn goes, and Theo John pulls down the rebound. There's a foul underneath. Marquette's going to get the basketball.
Theo John, obviously the type of athleticism that's going to help Marquette get back up to the top of this conference. But it's pretty obvious one of the issues that Marquette has is a lack of age. You got to be old in college basketball, especially in the Big East. And you look at Villanova, and even Mari Spellman, who comes in, he's a redshirt freshman because he doesn't play last year, but they have so much experience from winning a national championship. Older teams are that's who's dominating college basketball.
The conference itself, the top 3 teams, they're all experienced. Xavier, Seton Hall, Villanova. There's Greg Elliott able to hang and hit.
And that's why Elliott has a chance to be a great contributor. He's got a thumb that's going to probably require surgery at the end of the season, hurts his shooting, but a long kind of sinewy athlete who can guard multiple positions. He's just too weak in the low post and on boards.
Very long-armed as Rodney Bullock got underneath the hoop, and Sam Hauser called for the personal. That'll be the 2nd for Sam. But on National Marquette Day, Golden Eagles up 7. packed house today, including the Left Shark. Left Shark made it, even though it's Super Bowl week. Don't tell Katy Perry that. But Steve Wojciechowski, again, this club, Marquette, up by a grand total now of 7 points, 19-12 the score, and he's getting contributions from everybody thus far, Doug.
And I got a question from at Friar TV. Why does this win or would this loss matter so much more to Marquette? When you're Marquette, they don't have bad losses on their resume, but the wins that they could accrue after this, for example, St. John's, who's winless. I know they just beat Duke in the Garden today, but St. John's is winless. Georgetown, DePaul, even though those are road wins, and if you live in the Big East, you know there is no easy road win. The fact is that in the eyes of the committee, you need as many quality wins as possible. And if you can sweep Providence, who's likely to also be in that bubble conversation, in many people's minds, again, on the committee, you have to slap Marquette ahead of the Friars if push comes to shove.
Well, there are a lot of people that think that Providence right now, one of the first 4 teams in. Howie Schwab in his bracket that came out just a couple of days ago is Howard trying to lean in. Howard trying to drive in, still blocked away on the backside by Alpha Diallo.
He's been Marcus Howard's been awful so far, forcing things, and credit Providence finding him everywhere he is.
Jalen Lindsey feeling it early. He's perfect from the floor. He took it personally his last time out against Seton Hall when he put up nothing.
Donut, bagel. Zip, zilch, zero. And he was challenged by this coaching staff. And so far, he's producing.
Coming out big time is Howard trapped.
And they're just putting long arms and bodies around Howard.
Greg Elliott from the wing. If you're getting contributions from Greg Elliott like that, Marquette almost impossible to beat.
And his high school coach made the trip in from Detroit, Michigan.
5-point lead now. Providence still trying to find something for Kyron Cartwright. Asking for help.
Now he wants a ball screen, so he creates. So they have the mismatch they want.
And Diallo with the speed over Theo John. Jalen Lindsey, 5 on the shot clock. It's a tough possession that time for Providence.
Yeah, well, Providence has a smaller lineup in. Everyone can score off the dribble, but they did not get the mismatch against Theo John, or it didn't work out the way they thought it would.
Rodney Bullock commits the foul as we go back to Jalen Lindsey, what he's been able to do so far.
And also watch Kyron Cartwright. He acts as kind of a human moving screen. Lindsey playing like a trail 4-man, ends up getting a lineup of 3. And then you mentioned, if you're going to get Greg Elliott hitting threes, I mean, that's what's really remarkable what Marquette's been able to do. Sakai Annam gets a 3, Hauser gets a bank 3, and now Elliott gets a 3. That's been the difference so far for Marquette over Providence. They have not played particularly well, and yet they're still up 5 points.
And still nothing from Rousey. Froling finds Jamal Kane with the left hand too strong. Acrobatic shot. Elliott kept it alive. And a shot clock violation, got trapped in the corner. And Providence with a better defensive set that time.
Well, their half-court defense, in that case they were in the 2-3 zone or in man-to-man. They've been outstanding today.
Their length is just such a difference maker.
They're just built differently than Marquette is built. And they play to their strengths. And in a half-court game, it's going to be a 1 or 2 possession game, and that's what Providence wants. A little bit of a rock fight. In a full court game, spread you out game, that plays to Marquette's strengths.
Diallo isolated on the far wings. Jackson with Elliott hounding him. There's Diallo trying to blow by Froling.
That's what they want.
Able to do so.
Well, that's what this small lineup creates for Providence. Space. You know, they don't have Emmett Holt. He's going to sit out the year. He had a scary medical issue before the season began. And he was their stretch 4-5.
Rousey steps in 1-on-3. His floater way off. And out of bounds going to Providence. And the loss of Emmett Holt, I don't think a lot of people realize what a big loss that is for Ed Cooley.
Well, I think, look, schematically, Jeff, it hurts you because he's so versatile. Stretch 5, could play the 4, also a very good rebounder. But you talk to this team, player to player, coach to coach, they'll all say, he's our spirit. And just because he's here traveling with the team, it doesn't translate the same way has really kind of changed the makeup of this Providence team, and not for the better.
Cartwright finally able to knock down a shot. Cartwright with his first bucket of the ball game, first bucket in his last 2 games.
That's huge. Kyron Cartwright went through a stretch last year where he dominated this league. Dominated. But he's had a disappearing act at times this year. We'll see if that bucket gets him going.
Had a career high 29 against Marquette. Was overshadowed by the 52 put up by Howard as Rousey. An uncharacteristic turnover. It was deflected, evidently. It's going to stay with Marquette. Rousey started going the other way. He thought it was just off him.
I think that was a missed call.
Ed Cooley thinks so, too, on the far side. 11 seconds to shoot for the Golden Eagles. Matt Helt checks in for the first time. Elliott going baseline. His jumper is short. Jackson pulls down the rebound. Cartwright, now he's engaged. Elliott with those long arms. And Isaiah Jackson knocks down the shot. A chance for another. And here come the Friars.
Well, Marquette has a big problem, and it's at the 5 position. They just have trouble guarding athleticism at the 5 position. And in that particular, with this particular lineup, Isaiah Jackson's kind of your 5-man.
And with the energy that was at the beginning of this ball game, with all this crowd, it's kind of drowned out at the moment because of this run from Providence. As Makai Ashton Langford will check in for the first time for Cartwright.
A big stretch here for Makai Ashton Langford. Highly rated, top 50 kid who hasn't given the juice off the bench that they thought he would. But with Providence playing so well and Kyron Cartwright just hitting a shot, we'll see if he can keep it together for this TV timeout.
Howard spinning around, got lost. Sakar Annam, right place, right time, fouled, and he'll go to the line. It's a 12-3 run right now for Providence. They're up by 2 on the road in a huge game in the Big East. Two-point lead for the Friars on the road, and moments ago, Steve Wojciechowski talking to his Golden Eagles.
Translate for you real quick. He's talking about when Providence goes to their matchup zone, he wants to drive, skip. And what that means is he wants you to drive in and then skip the ball, skip past the basketball to the weak side, but he wants to keep your feet underneath you. And then, of course, against a zone, there aren't defined block-out assignments. So even though Marquette doesn't have a great rebounding team, with Sakar Annam, a very good athlete, he can potentially crash the boards. Matt Helt can crash the boards running to rebounds.
And trying to keep their feet, too, was a point of emphasis as well in that conversation for Steve Wojciechowski. As Annam misses his first free throw. He's been great over his last couple of ball games. Had a career-high 15 last time out against Butler. But he misses 2 free throws here.
Super high energy guy, though, and provides them versatility, essentially playing an undersized power forward.
And Steve Wojciechowski loves Annam, especially on this end. That's why he's on Alpha Diallo right now. But Alpha Diallo went right by him, finished with the left hand. Andrew Rousey and Marquette down by 4, trying to get both Rousey and Howard going a little bit in this game. Rousey going around the edge, finds Greg Elliott wide open. Couldn't hit the shot, but that's exactly what you want to see from the Golden Eagles.
Perfect offense designed for just that drive and just that shot.
Jalen Lindsey on the other end, too strong with his shot, had a good look. Up ahead, Rousey. Trapped in the corner.
Howard missed Elliott, who had a dunk.
And now Elliott turns it over. Diallo with Howard. And Alpha Diallo puts Providence up by 6 points, their largest lead of the game. It's an 11-0 run right now by Providence. They are up by 6 right now, and Alpha Diallo coming alive.
Built like the old Big East teams, just going to the rim and scoring. Friars up 6 in Milwaukee.
Golden Eagles have gone cold on their home floor, and the Providence Friars have taken advantage of it and then some, and Alpha Diallo is really engaged.
He has, and you know, Andrew Rousey does not come over. He should have gotten that steal, and instead Sakar Anam, his footwork is too highly leveraged, if you will. Too much on his top foot, and Diallo is so strong, uses that off arm to kind of clear space. 2 buckets in a row, and all of a sudden the Friars have completely quieted this crowd.
And Rodney Bullock nearly forced yet another Marquette turnover. It's been over 4 minutes since the Golden Eagles have had a bucket, trying to stop this runaway train that is the Friars at the moment.
And honestly, the 6-point lead should be 11 or 12 for Providence. If you consider Sakar Anam, not a great 3-point shooter, makes 1. We mentioned Hauser banging in 1. A bank. Greg Elliott throws in 1 from the corner. Those are your least effective shooters. Obviously, Hauser can really shoot.
Offensive rebound. Sakar Anam draws contact. He'll go to the line.
Now that's where Anam gives this team some juice, some bounce. This is running to rebound. He gets a running start, gets a rebound, no box out from Providence. And Isaiah Jackson gets caught watching the basketball instead of putting a body on Sakar Anam.
And Anam with a high five to the crowd as well, trying to get them re-engaged in this game. It's a packed house. First time this year that this building will be sold out on National Marquette Day. And Anam able to complete that 3-point play and get the Golden Eagles right back in it.
Did you get your significant other? Did you get her something for National Marquette Day? I mean, I don't know really what you're supposed to get, but either all these holidays,
a light blue, navy blue, or a gold T-shirt, which were given to all fans today,
or something that says Dwayne Wade on it.
No turnover. Marquette going the other way.
And they are harassing Marcus Howard every time he gets the basketball.
And length has given him a tough time all year. Underneath Sakar Anam, Theo John with the follow. Theo John getting more minutes because of excellent play like that. Cartwright on the floor with just 2 points. Bullock on the bench with 2 fouls. Alpha Diallo had it altered by Theo John, and then into the hands of Hauser.
A completely different game around that rim with Theo John in the game for Marquette. Not the offensive player, the shooter of some of his teammates, but really doing a great job on the boards and blocking shots.
Hauser 3 short. Cartwright nearly turned it over, ran into Isaiah Jackson. And then an unforced error by Providence forces another turnover as we go back to Theo John and his follow off the layup.
And I think maybe the thing I'm most impressed by is Sakar Anam cutting instead of spotting up. You know, they're not really valuing Sakar Anam, the shooter. So instead of standing in the corner open, he cuts, and that makes the defense collapse. And then Theo John kind of Johnny on the spot, standing right in the perfect spot to rebound and put it back.
I saw what you did there. Theo John, Johnny on the
spot.
Saturday morning, Saturday early afternoon game, we're locked in. And now Theo John, a little give and go. Marquette's out in front.
What a difference. I mean, what a difference. Harry Foley's a nice player, is a little bit more skilled as a shooter. What he doesn't give you is this type of effort, cutting to the basket, rebounding, finishing. And they get a little stare on Khalif Young. Yeah, John's come to play.
That's a freshman for Minneapolis, folks. He's not built like every freshman.
And that's one of the things that I think Marquette is changing, is both in the state and out of the state. You know, Wisconsin, when Bo Ryan was there, did a great job of recruiting the state of Minnesota. But Marquette going in there and getting the likes of Theo John.
Sakar Anam as well.
Getting the Hauser boys to stay in state, but to go to Marquette. That is big for the future of Marquette basketball.
Next year, as Isaiah Jackson misses the runner, Theo John rips down another board. Next year, they'll have Ed Morrow, an Illinois boy.
And, of course, Trey Jones going to go to Duke. Minnesota's inability to keep kids home.
Kind of a disjointed possession, but Adams still able to find the bottom of the hoop. Not the prettiest possession, but it's a 9-0 run. Rousey picks up the foul.
And I don't know if you saw this, Jeff, but Kyron Cartwright, he's a little bothered by the defense being put on him. You see the smile from Rousey. After he got down and they called, he kind of spun the ball into Rousey's backside. It's exactly what you want. You want to be an irritant. Now, you can't get too many fouls as a 23-year-old senior because this Marquette team is completely different with him on or off the floor. But Marquette being pesky defensively is not the reputation.
Cartwright and Rousey, you got two seniors that are just kind of jawing at one another. That's a fun matchup to watch just because of the way their body language and the way they talk to each other throughout the course of the game. Diallo goes with the left hand, and he was out of bounds in a double dribble before that. Diallo thought he was pushed, but the life is back in the building in Milwaukee. Day goes all the way back to the 60s, had a big pep rally last night at the Al McGuire Center. Big-time fireworks downtown, and they have come out in droves, despite a little snow outside.
And of course, you know, last night you had the Bucks winning, beating the New York Knicks right here on the same floor. Giannis Antetokounmpo with the scoop in the left hand to win the game. So great sports. Of course, you know, last year in January they announced $600 million towards kind of renovating almost everything within the university. This is a huge day for this university that was established back in the 1800s and became a university in 1907.
Sam Hauser with a turnaround, and this is their last year in this building. They'll move next door to the unnamed arena where the Bucks and Golden Eagles will share that facility.
Man, it is spectacular, isn't it?
Man, this whole area, as Cartwright knocks down the baseline jumper, this whole area is going to be so vibrant. It's already started to come back over the last few years. But with the new arena, retail, hotels, this is going to be the place to be in Milwaukee. 3-point lead for Marquette. Just over 3 minutes to play in this first half. Hauser trying to go, and with the left hand over the top of Malik White.
And, you know, Sam Hauser's been playing with a hip issue all year that's kind of bothered him. But his effectiveness offensively, giving him that third weapon, so imperative considering how diminutive their guards are.
A couple of 30-point games this year for Hauser. Howard's gone for 30 5 different times, and Rousey's done it 4. Cartwright, speaking of Rousey, able to get it back, and Cartwright knocks down the shot. A chance for another. Talk about being engaged. Here comes Kyron Cartwright.
Well, you mentioned engaged. That's one of the problems they've had with Kyron Cartwright. Sometimes just out there playing, and Rousey goes under the screen. He probably gets fouled by Sukar Hanem, loses the ball, gets it back, throws it in, gets fouled. I think that's like the perfect Providence possession, right? You mentioned that it doesn't matter if I think Marquette had an ugly possession.
Yeah.
They don't give awards to teams that have pretty possessions. They give awards to teams that score more points. And this Providence team, 4 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances, first time in program history.
Ed Cooley leading that charge has energized that program in his 7th year in Providence. 3-point game, 2:15 to play. Howard with the right hand finishes as he went right by Malik White. 7 for Marcus Howard.
Well, Malik White has bad knee, missed a couple weeks of action, but man, did Marcus Howard make him look bad. Malik was playing on that jump shot.
This is total isolation game for Kyron Cartwright. He's got Elliott on him, but now Alpha Diallo with Sukar Hanem on him. Good switch by Theo John.
Yeah, they're going at the wrong players at times. There you go.
Inside, the dunk by Nate Watson.
Well, see, Nate Watson, you want your 5-man being guarded by Hanem, or you want to attack Hauser off the dribble. That's the weakness. Or post Elliott.
Hauser down low, good feed. Theo John, and instead of going up, he had Elliott streaking in. Don't forget, coming up, Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. Rob Stone, Donnie Marshall standing by for you out in Los Angeles.
Well, you don't have much to talk about, right? Duke goes down to the Johnnies at Cameron Square Garden.
Yep.
My alma mater takes down Kansas. All of a sudden, the Big 12 is up in the air. And, of course, you get all the Big East play across the country.
Butler with a big win today over DePaul.
But NC State dominating Notre Dame in the ACC.
Jalen Lindsey knocks down another three, and Jalen Lindsey having a breakout game. His game is tied with 1:15 to play. 11 for Jalen Lindsey in this first half. Steve Wojciechowski's got Howard firing from three, too short. And Watson pulls down the board. The bench has been terrific so far as Cartwright with the left hand, too strong. Jamal Cain and Marquette going the other way. Howard fouled, and he ends up on the ground, as well as Nate Watson. Free throws coming for Howard.
It's one of those that looks like a hard foul, but really Watson, he should have just stayed vertical, but what a smart play by Marcus Howard. It looked worse than it actually was.
One of the best free throw shooters in the country coming to the line. At one point, it made 66 straight free throws over the course of 2 seasons, too short of the school record held by Steve Novak.
They've had some pretty good free throw shooters at Marquette, right? And Diener, of course, could throw them in. You mentioned Novak. Marcus Howard, I believe that's the announcer jinx, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been blamed of that a couple of times. I wasn't on the call when he actually missed to snap the 66, but Howard makes 1 out of 2. I'll take partial credit for it.
When he had 52 against Providence in the overtime win at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, only had 10 at the half.
That was the second half in overtime where he just took over, especially in overtime. Cartwright spinning around, fadeaway with the left hand. Nope, and Jamal Cain had to go in and out of his hands, and now the shot clock is turned off, and Providence can play for the final shot, down by 1.
Look at the youth on the floor for the Golden Eagles. Cain, John, Elliott, even Marcus Howard, who's technically a sophomore. We mentioned only 18 years old.
They only have 1 senior, Andrew Rousey, and they have 2 juniors, and 1 is a walk-on in Camerata. Matt Helt, who's a starter, frontline player. He's the other junior. Everybody else, freshmen and sophomores. In the last game, Steve Wojciechowski said it was the last time against Butler. It was really the first time they played to their youth. They play older.
Well, I think they put so much into that Villanova game. And then when Villanova, they just break your heart, right? You beat them the year before, you lose to Villanova. I think that, as much as their youth, really got them against Butler.
Malik White had it dribbled off his leg, and Ed Cooley could not be pleased about that. 6 seconds, and Marquette with an opportunity to score and add to their lead as Hauser will check in.
I don't understand why they went away from posting Elliott. They scored at will when Greg Elliott first checked into the game. They went right at him defensively, and now Providence has gone to ISO basketball here against this lineup of Marquette.
And don't forget, Rodney Bullock has been on that bench for the better part of this first half with a couple of fouls. Hauser looking for help. They got to go. And Hauser turned it right back over. Those are 2 really sloppy possessions for both teams. And now, if you're Ed Cooley, you got a little life back in your body after the mishandle by White. And now they put their defensive lineup in to try and stop the points.
But now you got Rodney Bullock. This ball's probably going to Bullock or to Cartwright coming off.
Get into the hands of Watson. Back out. Jalen Lindsey for 3. And he's off the mark. Had a good look. But at the end of this first half, Marquette is up 38-37. After this quick timeout, we'll send you out to Rob Stone in L.A. with a Jeep Grand Cherokee halftime report. It's been a great first half in Milwaukee. Don't go anywhere. 1-point lead for the Golden Eagles. Providence down just 1 point as we enter the second half. Jalen Lindsey had 11 points to lead all scorers in the first 20 minutes of this one, and Rodney Bullock only relegated to 13 minutes in that first half because of 2 early fouls.
And this is a Marquette team. They've lost 5 out of their last 7, 3 out of their last 4. And you're talking as big a must-win game as you're going to have February 3rd, maybe anywhere in the country, let alone the Big East.
And immediately they go backdoor cut to Alpha Diallo to give the Friars the lead again.
Great called set play out of the halftime. They go right at Marcus Howard, who gets caught watching the basketball.
Andrew Rousey still with no points. Again, he went the entire last game against Butler with nothing. Did not make a shot, is yet to make a shot in this one.
Completely face guarding Marcus Howard away from the basketball, not letting him even touch the ball.
Theo John working his way underneath. And Steve Wojciechowski sticking with what's working, and it's been Theo John all afternoon. Diallo with a size advantage over Howard. That's a matchup they can exploit big time. Cartwright dishes it off, and Theo John blocked it again. Howard transition three, rimmed in and out. If that one goes down, lid might pop off of the Bradley Center.
Well, look what Theo John is able to do defensively. Kyron Cartwright had a lane to the basket. He has a lane. Watch. He goes over the ball screen. And then after going over the ball screen, he drives to the he drives right at the bucket. He's got a lane, but because Theo John was there, he kind of went soft and decided to pass the ball to Khalif Young.
Theo John now with 3 blocks in this game. Rodney Bullock matched up with Sakar Annam defensively. Annam's done a nice job on Bullock, who's got 5 points. There's that matchup again. Bullock fouled and a chance for a 3-point play. And now Rodney Bullock is engaged.
Yeah, instead of the one-on-one ISO ball, this is a Providence team that they're bigger at just about every position. And Rodney Bullock, we've been doing this since he arrived on campus at PC. Give me the ball, get me some buckets. Takes his time. Sakarian tries to close up space with his lower body and gets called for a foul.
As a junior, Rodney Bullock had some turnover problems, but he's cut those in half this year.
He doesn't really dribble well. So instead of trying to beat guys off the dribble, he'll just back them down or catch and shoot.
Still trying to find a way for Rousey to get himself into this game. Sakar Annam wide open 3. Rimmed in and out on that shot. He made his first one of the day, but not that one. But a good look. 2-point lead for Providence underneath. Theo John had lost his man, Khalif Young. Young comes up a little bit gimpy. He'll go to the line and shoot a couple. And Andrew Rousey again. This is now a game and a half where he has not had a point.
Well, look, I mean, the scouting report was out, I think, early last year, right? He transferred in, and now he's a grad student here at Marquette. But the length of Providence and the fact that they are completely engaged in, hey, we're going to make somebody other than Marcus Howard or Andrew Rousey beat us, has stymied this spectacular backcourt.
That's 2 misses from Young and a foul on Alpha Diallo on the rebound attempt. And one thing about Rousey, too, he's so adept at that pump fake from beyond the arc. He's usually going to the line.
Gets one. I think it was 13 games last year. Yeah. He was fouled on a 3-point shot. It was really remarkable.
It happened this year, too. And even though it's in the scouting report, people bite on it at least once a game. It hadn't happened.
If you watch Providence, now Jalen Lindsey guarding him, face guarding him away from the basket. They're able to switch all of these screens.
Sakar Annam into the paint, missed badly, and the rebound by Cartwright.
So it's almost like a triangle and 2, only they're not playing zone. They're just face guarding the 2 stars.
Out of bounds off of Jalen Lindsey. They had an open look into the wing. And Lindsey just unable to make the catch and a bad pass.
All right, so when Rousey gets the basketball, obviously they're doing a great job of hedging these ball screens, really sticking with them. This is the classic, and as I say it, they don't do it.
And Rousey finally gets in the scoreboard, and I bet his shoulders are going to sink down about a foot.
This is called a horn. They kind of squeeze the horn set, and because they set it with Sam Hauser, Jalen Lindsey doesn't switch. Jalen Lindsey doesn't switch, and Kyron Cartwright's like, where's my help? A beautifully designed called set play right in front of Steve Wojciechowski. It's one of the things in college basketball. Second half, you're in front of your bench. You should be running sets where all the personnel is in the right spots.
And that's the 4th foul on Khalif Young. And just like that, Rousey into the ball game. He's got some points, and we'll see how much that helps his confidence moving forward. And a little bit of backcourt pressure, too, from Marquette. Kyron Cartwright with 6 points in that first half, had 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Bullock on Theo John. And Theo John with another block. That's his 5th.
So what Providence is trying to do is exploit the fact that Theo John, who's a center, can't cover out on the floor, but he's done a really good job of moving his feet.
Underneath, Hauser blocked it on the back end, but there was a foul underneath before. They'll pick up Marcus Howard on the foul on Alpha Diallo, just kind of undercutting Alpha. For Howard is first. Diallo going to the line to shoot one. You're starting to see a little bit more emphasis on the defensive end here on this second half. Of course, Steve Wojciechowski, the floor slapper himself back at Duke. That's the way he wants to play. Tenacious defense.
But you have to play to your personnel. And until he has the type of personnel that they had at Duke when he was a long-time assistant coach, you can't play that way defensively. But Theo John has given them a lift with his strength and athleticism and shot blocking, rebounding, and then they just have to play to his strengths offensively, which is rolling to the basket and setting screens. You're not going to give him the ball where you want him to shoot it or you want him to really be a passer.
John's got 8 points, 6 rebounds as Alpha Diallo makes 1 out of 2.
Well, Alpha Diallo's a quickly improving player on a Brewster Academy.
Wouldn't be surprised as Kyron Cartwright won the most improved player of the year in the conference last year. Beautiful ball fake by Hauser, knocks down the jumper. Wouldn't be surprised if Alpha Diallo got that award this year.
And improving in season. You know, since the last time these two teams met, he's actually led Providence in field goal attempts.
Diallo, big-time spark plug. Lindsay with 8 on the shot clock. Tapped it back out to Rodney Bullock underneath. Diallo amongst the trees finally gives it up. Watson and Howard comes out of the fray with it.
What a smart foul.
Kyron Cartwright commits the foul. Steve Wojciechowski wanted an intentional foul, but just a common one.
No, this is like a play that you have when you're in Europe. Alpha Diallo's underneath the basket, holding his head. The officials don't even see it. Now, they don't have to stop the game until there's a lull in the action. So Kyron Cartwright just fouls. And Diallo gets hit. I didn't see him get hit that hard. I'm taking his word for it that he's not flopping.
Right off the side of his head, it looked like, as Alpha Diallo still down and being attended to by the medical staff.
But, you know, like the fans didn't like it because Kyron Cartwright fouled on purpose. But that's why they changed the wording from flagrant to intentional foul. Let's see here. He must have got an elbow to the side of the head.
It went down real fast and covering his face with the towel. And now getting up, maybe just, I hate to speculate, but Ed Cooley's going to have to go to his bench, and you're losing a guy in Alpha Diallo, and hopefully he's going to be able to come back into this ball game at some point.
Well, much this foul. This is just smart. This is what they teach you to do when you play basketball and FIBA overseas. You don't have to. Howard, of course, throws his head up like he got just crushed.
No, that's not intentional, because Steve Wojciechowski ran at him with the X's.
That's the Mutombo, by the way. No. Wojo's going to try and get a quick 3 out of this ATO after a timeout play, which they get an official review to make sure it's not a flagrant. It's not. It'll be a common foul, as you pointed out.
Marcus Howard with some last-minute instructions from Wojo, and we play on. 16:04 left to go in this ball game. 2-point lead for Marquette and a must-win for the Golden Eagles. Providence needs it just as bad. Froling on the floor for the first time in the second half. Theo John gets a much-deserved break. Hauser trying to go baseline, spinning around on Jackson. Turnaround jumper is good.
That was nice. Sam Hauser is super skilled. A lot of people thought when they took him just to get his brother. That could not be further from the case.
And Joey, there's some conversation that he might be better than Sam. He's got his work cut out for him, because Sam has worked hard as soon as he got on campus. Ashton Langford got fouled on his drive, but Hauser and Marquette up by 4.
Sam Hauser just going ISO. Get out my way. Take a little spin move. Another spin move. Fade away. Here it comes. Marquette up 4 on Marquette Day.
Providence in a must-win situation, and Doug, you like the action that you're starting to see in the second half.
I do. They're loading up on Andrew Rousey, loading up on Marcus Howard, and this is just a little single-double action. Watch Andrew Rousey. He's coming off of a triple screen. 1, 2, 3. The final screener is Hauser, and then you turn around and you screen for Hauser. Providence gets caught in a switch. He lifts him on a shot fake and scores over Rodney Bullock. But the fact is that you're paying so much attention to Rousey, so much attention to Hauser, so much attention to Howard, that sometimes you get a mismatch on Hauser, and he's been able to make them pay 2 consecutive possessions.
Tough to have 3 different heads of a snake. You got to try and stop at least 2 of them if you're going to beat Marquette. And one of them's going to have a game, and so far it's been Hauser leading the way with 13.
They like these quick hitting sets out of transition. Again, another handoff for Rousey where you're going to run him off a screen action.
You got a freshman on him, Ashton Langford. Rousey almost got him to bite on the ball fake. His fadeaway is good, and now Rousey's away.
Oh, a beautiful move from the 23-year-old senior.
4-point lead for Marquette, and Rousey on the floor with 3 fouls. Mismatch down low with Jackson on Howard. No call underneath, and then Watson was fouled by Sakar Anam. Howard went to the deck. Probably a good no call.
Rousey has as good a shot fake as you're going to see in college basketball. We talked about his ability to draw three-point shot fouls. And he's got the freshman on him, and Makai Ashton Langford just got a lesson. Shot fake, big step, pull up, jump shot, splash.
Nate Watson at the line. Talented freshman. Knocks down the first free throw out of Arlington, Virginia. More of a defensive presence at this point of his career. But Ed Cooley likes what he sees from his man on the front line.
And yeah, top 10 recruiting class coming in next year. Ed Cooley's got a role in Providence.
Going to lose 3 seniors off of this team, Bullock, Lindsey, and Cartwright. They'll get Emmett Holt back after injury. Abdominal surgery and out for the year. Was out shooting shots today. And there's a foul underneath as Rousey.
What a smart flop from Rousey. I mean, they ran through the screen. Jalen Lindsey ran through the screen. But that was Andrew Rousey just throwing his body in front of him and making a scene. Super smart play. Watch Rousey. He just gets in front. Oh, he killed me. Smart.
Heads up play. That was not a heads up play as Rousey frustrated. Wojo almost threw that one into the second deck. A 2-point lead right now for Marquette, shooting 60% from the floor in this game, and only up by 2.
Turnovers have killed him.
10 turnovers by the Golden Eagles, 7 for Providence. Watson a little too far out for that hook shot, and Marquette with numbers. Howard knifing through the defense. No call off of Howard's head, and it will go to Providence, and the fans here don't like it.
And you know what? They don't like it, but this was a good no call. Look, when Steve Wojciechowski and I played in college basketball, this could have been called a foul. You jump into the defender's body. That's perfect verticality. That's how it is taught. Makai Ashton Langford just puts his arms up in the air, jumps as high as he can, and you have that all the way to infinity. That is your space.
Well, you can tell that Ed Cooley and his coaching staff a month ago, after Howard put up 52 against the Friars in their building in Providence, he was not going to go and take charge of this game. Deflection into the hands of Howard. Up ahead to Hauser. Froling had it tapped down, and Providence again. Turnover number 11. Cartwright missed the layup. Bullock fouled by Rousey. That's his 4th.
Oh, that was a bad fast break. But Hauser throwing an alley-oop to Froling. That's one of those that you roll back the tape tomorrow. You just look over and you say, don't ever do that again.
Do you even watch it, or do you have to watch that one?
For comedic, some sort of comedic break, right? I mean, look, it started Rousey didn't give Hauser a good pass.
Both get the line to shoot a couple.
But your power forward throwing your center, who's not exactly fleet of foot in alley-oop, is suboptimal. Especially, like, Froeling's lost 40 pounds since he's arrived on campus, transferring in from SMU.
Yep.
But that hasn't made him a dunk champion.
Froeling's nickname when he was at SMU and when he first came to Marquette was Porridge. He was a little soft. He's worked hard to get to where he is now. Certainly changed the dynamic of this team in the low post and spread it out a little bit. There's Howard, deep three, short. And Jackson and Providence outnumbered. Good transition defense as Jackson goes to the rack and able to hit, gives Providence the lead.
They saw Greg Elliott, and they know exactly where they want to go defensively. But the big key is shutting down Marcus Howard.
And they've done so to this point. Howard with just 8 points. But right now, Providence up by 1.
Jalen Lindsey gets the stop, and then Isaiah Jackson right down Broadway. Providence up a point. Angel Delgado and Kadeem Carrington trying to go into Philly. Of course, not playing the Pavilion this year because that's being redone. Tall glass ice water right there.
Wojo goes through about 7 of those a game.
I said, you know, he does some charity runs in the offseason, and he even, he lost a bunch of weight this past offseason. And he said, like, look, my weight actually goes down when we're losing and up when we're winning. I said, that's weird. He's like, no, I can't eat when we're not playing well. I said, you would think you would eat for, like, comfort foods. It's the opposite of me.
Jackson misses the 3 into the hands of Howard. And you were talking with Wojo before the game today. Hey, they're trying to have more fun, trying to not take things too seriously because they know they've got this favorable schedule coming down the stretch. But he said, hey, listen, if your team's going to have fun, you got to have fun too.
But it's hard because, like, look, he's just wired and super focused. And he knows this team has an NCAA tournament in them if they can figure out the little things it's going to take to do so. But, you know, it's like Providence not going to lay down for you. A veteran team, really well coached. None of these Providence veteran players have ever not been to the NCAA tournament.
Well, and they've got St. John's twice, as we've talked about, but St. John's just took down Duke today.
Yeah. And look, St. John's, the fact that they could take down Duke and take Nova to the wire in the same week when they haven't won a Big East game speaks volumes for the culture that they're trying to establish in Queens. Usually, it's like what happened to Marquette. You put everything into place to play Nova, and then your next game you're kind of out of gas.
Howard with a couple of free throws to give the Golden Eagles the lead back, and Howard in double figures with 10.
Let's see if that gets Marcus Howard going, making a couple free throws, seeing the ball go through the net.
Now the crowd trying to engage a little bit, get a stop on the defensive end. Inside, Alpha Diallo right back onto the floor.
Steve Wojciechowski may lose his mind because he went over 3 times with their team, and Jamal Cain just gave up a layup on a play that Providence likes to run out of timeouts. And they could not have run it any more simply than they just did there.
Howard between the defenders, and Howard couldn't hit the floater. Fight for the rebound, and Alpha Diallo's got it. Again, Alpha Diallo was down on the floor holding his head 5 minutes ago. Good to see him back on for Providence. Nearing 11.5 minutes to go in this ball game. Cartwright, speed advantage. Theo John trying to block it away, and Cartwright shows his muscles. And Cartwright with 8. Hauser underneath, and he turned it over, trying to hit Greg Elliott. Bullock on the fast break, goes right into Hauser and draws a foul on Sam. Go back to Kyron Cartwright.
He had a bagel, he had a donut. He didn't do anything the other night. And Kyron Cartwright trying to get a big road dub for the Friars.
Three-point lead for Providence on the road. And Doug, you mentioned it today in shoot-around. If Steve Wojciechowski saw Providence score on this type of play, he was going to go nuts.
Okay, so if you look at Theo John, number 4 in the yellow jersey, he's out there guarding Alpha Diallo. He's supposed to have his body in between his man and the basket. That's a little flex screen. Alpha Diallo cuts off, lays the basketball in. And so Jamal Cain looks like he's in the wrong place, wrong time. It's not actually Cain's fault. It's Theo John's fault. They got switched up and cross-matched, but that's what happens when you have young players. Well, they went over it 5 times, and I can't repeat because we don't want to lose our FCC license what he said would happen if Providence scored on this one play, because it's a pet play they like to go to.
Just say he was going to be less than pleased.
Yes.
And Bullock knocks down the first free throw. Big-time discrepancy in free throws today. Providence out in front of that, and Marquette, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country. They are #1 in the conference, #3 in the country entering play today.
I love the feel that Ed Cooley has. Not as good a shooting lineup without Rousey in the game, so you can go to your zone. You just have to know where Hauser is and know where Marcus Howard is.
Howard's got the ball and knocked out of bounds by Rodney Bullock. And with Matt Helt on the floor, not necessarily a scoring option, you kind of take a defender off of him at times because you're not worried about him scoring if you're Providence.
Right, but you can use him as a screener, a ball screener. But they have too many non-shooters in this lineup for Marquette.
There's Hauser. Rainbow 3 in and out. Cartwright with a board. For Cartwright, his 5th. No, Rousey on the floor again. Rousey in foul trouble with 4.
And don't be surprised if they go to Rodney Bullock at the block with Elliott guarding him.
Go underneath. Diallo Annam all over him, though. And blocked away by Matt Helt. And then a foul on Providence. They'll get Rodney Bullock. And for Bullock, it's his 3rd. Good help defense that time by Helt.
Well, this is just a little flex cut. The same flex pick. Elliott offers no help. But Sakar Annam does a great job of using his body, his lower body, to not allow a quick layup, and the help comes and blocks the shot.
Become a 5-point lead. Providence's largest lead of the game is 6. Marquette is led by as many as 7. It was early on in the first half, though. Halfway through this second half. And I'm going to the rack, couldn't get it. Thought he was fouled. Instead, Jackson pulls down another rebound, and here come the Friars.
Well, second half of a game is just really hard to play against Providence because they have a million set plays, and right in front of their coaching staff, Ed Cooley can call them out, get everybody in the right position so nobody screws up a set.
Cartwright jump stop him before the shot. Officials very quickly saying no continuation, but a foul. Wally Ritaki, I love the demonstrative call.
And I also love the demonstrative nature of Kyron Cartwright, who sometimes can look a little out to lunch, but he's been challenged physically by this Marquette defense. They're bumping in and banging him, and he just took the ball and tried to debo Marcus Howard, got right to the basket.
For whatever reason, as Rousey's going to check in and play with his 4 fouls, Sakar Annam will come off the bench. Cartwright has had big games against Marquette in the past. Had 29 in his own building earlier this year. Led the way in the first ever win for Providence College in the city of Milwaukee last year.
Well, I mean, I think one of the big, neither of these point guards are particularly good defensively. This is if the court was tilted, right? They would love it, right? We just play offense most of the time, or you know, in some Midwestern states, women's basketball used to be 3-on-3, where you wouldn't cross. That would be great for some of the Marquette guys. So he takes advantage of that. But they've actually done an excellent job defensively this afternoon.
They've really held Howard in check. As Hauser a deep 3, too strong. Matt Helt battling, but great blockout by Rodney Bullock. 7-point lead for Providence. Isaiah Jackson got fouled by Matt Helt.
And that's on Rousey, really. I mean, Rousey took one step on the little pass fake, and then it was what's called swinging gate defense. I mean, look at how bad his footwork is there, and it leaves Helt in a terrible position defensively.
So Jackson.
It's hard when you got 4 fouls. Sorry, Jeff. It's hard when you have 4 fouls. You have to play defense and not foul. It doesn't mean you just have to get out of the way.
It's an art form, that's for sure. And the guys that are really good defenders, they can do it, but you got to give up a little.
Right. We were promoting the Villanova game against Seton Hall. There's a team that almost never gets called for a foul, always bottom of the conference, but they are super, super physical. They just don't use their hands.
Rousey with an air ball, just a flat force from Rousey, and the foul trouble for both teams mounts as some frustration starting to set in Rousey with 4, Hauser and Anna both with 3. Young has been a non-factor today. The 2 studs, Diallo and Bullock, both with 3 personals. And this great three-point shooting Marquette team, they have been ice cold. Out of bounds going to Marquette. They've missed their last 10 from beyond the arc.
All right, so now you're frustrated. You've taken a quick couple. Hauser took 1, Rousey took 1. You're down 8. But Providence goes through these droughts where they don't score. A 19-0 drought caused them to. That's one of the reasons they were beaten by Seton Hall the other night. You got to take advantage of that turnover and get a good look.
Got your scores on the floor right now. Out of bounds off of Jalen Lindsey. 14 seconds to shoot on the shot clock for Marquette as Sakar Annam will check in for Matt Helt. So now with this lineup, you get Sam Hauser playing the 5.
And you have Annam who should be an effective rebounder.
No continuation of foul before the shot as double bonus for Providence. Marquette's in the bonus. Alpha Diallo picks up his 4th in the process.
Well, that's kind of a gift call there. Howard just drove to the body of Alpha Diallo.
Officials now going over to the table. Did they give it to Jackson or did they give it to Diallo? Either way, Howard's at the line. Ends a 9-0 run for Providence.
As well-liked a player nationally. His time with USA Basketball, his time at Finley Prep, as you're going to find anywhere in the country. Marcus Howard.
Part of the NCAA competition committee as well for players. Crowd wants to stop. They need one.
Rousey's got 4 fouls. He can't even afford to flop.
8 to shoot as Jackson goes to the right hand. Diallo with the offensive rebound with both Howard and Rousey in the painted area. That's about as easy as offensive rebound Diallo's ever going to have.
But you got to get inside of him, and low man has to win. They're trying to jump and just stand there defensively, and that's not going to help you against these bigger, longer Providence bodies.
Rousey fouled on the drive by Kyron Cartwright. Emotion starting to come into play. 61-53. Providence up on the road. Providence up by 8 at the moment, trying to win in this city for just the 2nd time in school history. And their scoring is coming from 4 big-time players, Bullock, Diallo, Lindsey, and Cartwright. But it's very balanced, Doug. It's not just one guy being the focal point.
No, and I think they've done a good job of exposing some of the mismatches that Marquette has given them at the defensive end. I mean, really, it's been their defense that's put them in the lead in this game. I mean, what is it, 7 minutes and 14 seconds since the last made Marquette field goal? So, and they have 4 free throws during that time, and now you got Rousey up at the line. You'd expect him to make both these free throws. But if you're Providence, just stop fouling. Stop fouling. And if you're Marquette, you have to generate some offense, and they can't simply be chucking and ducking threes.
You got to start making Marquette make shots. Last time out, shot 46% against Butler, but a lot of that was late in the game. They were in the 30s for the better part of the game against Butler. As Rousey does indeed make 2 in a row to bring it back to a 6-point ball game. But this is where, if you're Marquette, you've got to really ramp it up. Get some stops in the defensive end and create some offense on it.
Now, Rousey has 4 personal fouls. Elliott is not much of a post defender at all. Jordan Howard lacks size inside, so there's plenty of options to go at.
Bullock wanted it down low with Greg Elliott on him. Diallo posts up Rousey, and Diallo got helped out and blocked by Greg Elliott. Excellent job by the freshman helping out. Annam's going to go to the hoop with the left hand, too strong. And Jackson comes away with it. Elliott lost his shoe. Jackson fouled by Sam Hauser. That's his 4th. As Greg Elliott needs to put his sneaker back on. And that 4th foul on Hauser is huge.
And I don't understand how this is a foul and some of the other plays that were called verticality, not called fouls, or not. You see Elliott putting on a shoe. Beautiful Jordan brand, of course, sponsors the Marquette program, thanks to D-Wade.
I think Wojo has the same beef you do on that last foul. Crowd thinks the same.
Listen, I'm okay if you're going to call that a foul. Let's take a second look. Hauser jumps up straight. That's not a foul. And we just showed you the replay at the other end of Alpha Diallo. 2 hands up. Verticality, great defense. Sam Hauser does the same thing in transition. Yeah, maybe he clipped him with a low body, I guess, but just because Jackson falls down doesn't a foul make.
Officials went to the table to check on something, but Hauser with 13 points to lead the way for Marquette. Howard, the only other player in double figures with 12.
And look, I'm as hard on officials as anybody who puts his headset on. And so I understand it's a bang game, and you got to make quick decisions. And once you blow that whistle, it is in fact a foul. But I think they've actually done a really good job with a couple exceptions. That one would be an exception.
This isn't football where you can pick up a flag. Whistle's a whistle.
Whistle's a whistle.
And now they're going to have to
Well, they started the clock. Rousey kind of smartly like, look, if I can save 7 seconds by letting the ball roll up into the front court and we're down, that's a smart play.
You have the timekeeper there for a moment.
You got to lock in the timekeeper. Timekeeper might have had a couple sips here. It is Brew City.
Super Bowl weekend. And Rousey can do the same thing.
Except for Cigar Hanum didn't get the memo.
See what kind of offense Marquette tries to put together. Good pass right into Greg Elliott. Wojo's going to slap the floor. Diallo with a mismatch. Diallo missed, got his own rebound, and there was a foul ahead of it, and they're going to get Rousey with a personal foul. That's his 5th. But Marquette will be without their senior leader for the next 6.5 minutes. Rousey can't believe it.
That's a foul. It wasn't. Everybody concentrates on the hands and the arms. He steps underneath him. Watch his lower bodies. He closes up space. That's where the foul comes from. And that's a point of emphasis for officials. And so Rousey can say, like, hey, I didn't drop my hands. Or you're actually allowed to drop your hands, 20 degrees or so. But that's actually a good call. And you got to be smarter than that if you're a senior.
7 points for Rousey, and he's fired up. And you can tell it's been a tough 2-game stretch for Rousey. No points his last game, 7 tonight.
But look, smart of Providence. Throw it into the guy. He's an incredibly important part of what Marquette does offensively. And he's diminutive. You got a size advantage, plus he's got 4 personal fouls.
And if you're Diallo, exploit the mismatch. They've been doing it all night long. Diallo misses the first. If this becomes a free throw shooting contest,
Marquette's going to win the game.
No doubt, 79%. Providence just under 70% at 69. And Diallo makes 1 out of 2. 14 for Alpha Diallo, coming off of a career-high 25 his last time against Seton Hall. Now,
Providence can't get so locked in on Howard and Hauser that they don't cover the cutters. That's what happened on the previous possession. You're so engaged on 0, you forget about Elliott.
There's a deep 3 off the back of the iron. Don't forget Hauser also on the floor playing with 4 fouls. 6 minutes to play in this one. 7-point lead for Providence. And Cartwright content to just bleed some clock.
Knowing he has 4 fouls, they're going right at Hauser.
Jackson battling down, and Hauser, it's all he could do.
That's good coaching and even better execution.
The timeout called by Marquette. They have 1 left with 5:38 to play in this game. No more Rousey. He is fouled out. And Providence is now up by 9.
Isaiah Jackson, I got a guy who's got 4 personal fouls. Take my time, look around, no double coming. And Hauser cannot challenge the shot because he has 4. An easy layup for PC.
Providence has really taken the second half by storm. They were trailing by 1 point at the break, and they have just dominated in the second half. And the three-point shooting, which has been such a strong point for the Golden Eagles. They led the nation last year in three-point shooting, almost 43%.
But they were bad earlier this week, you know. You get stomped by Butler when they cannot make a shot. Remember, they got beat by 20 at home earlier this week by Butler.
Trailed by as many as 30 in that game. And Marquette came out guns a-blazing today. They made their first 4 from beyond the arc. They've missed their last 10, including 11 from Marcus Howard's last shot. So Marquette's going to have to find a way to find the bucket with either Howard or Sam Hauser and Sakar Adam, who was great in the first half, too.
Sakar Adam was great, but how was he? Yes, he knocked in a 3, but his strength is going towards the basket. Offensive rebound, energy. The one issue they have now is that they've gotten a little bit selfish offensively. Hauser took a bad one. Rousey took a bad one. That last one from Howard was a bad one. Just because you're a great three-point shooter doesn't mean you're going to shoot your normal percentage trying to shoot a 3 over a 6'7" extended arm.
And Theo John was a big-time factor in the first half, too. He has been a mystery in this second half.
He posts up, they don't even look for him.
Howard driving, teardrop, off the window, no. Adam couldn't get the putback, and then Theo John got ripped away. Cartwright got picked up by Hauser. Smart reset by the veterans. Speed for Diallo. And now Hauser on Cartwright. Cartwright pull-up jumper. Just cannot stop it, and he is really in rhythm right now, dancing on his way back to the floor.
That's got to be a good feeling for him, because had he played poorly again, I'm not sure he would have been on the first team when they got that back to Providence, Rhode Island for practice. That's how upset the staff was with him with his performance the other night.
Howard finds Elliott streaking underneath. He was fouled. Had an easy look, but he'll go to the line and shoot a couple. You need to see more of that out of Marquette.
Absolutely. You need to see more cutting to the basket, but more than anything, the penetration into the middle of the zone defense.
For Bullock, he picks up his 4th.
And one of the issues with Marquette is they have not been able to get out in transition. And so the zone, or even when they're playing man-to-man, has been allowed to set up. And Providence, even when they've missed a free throw, it's been the first free throw, not the second. Making that second free throw allows you to set your defense.
Elliott knocks down the first. Brings it within a 10-point ball game. Elliott off the bench today with 8 points. Make it 9 after 2 free throws. Fans just trying to find a way to get excited again as Bullock with the ball fake. Couldn't hit the layup. Maybe that's the break to get Marquette going. Theo John underneath. Hauser found him. And a timeout called by Providence. On National Marquette Day, Golden Eagles are trying to dance their way back into this one, as our game reset is sponsored by SoFi Rethinking Personal Finance. It's a 7-point lead right now for Providence. Only 1 timeout left for the Golden Eagles.
He's fired up. That dude is fired. Get him a uniform.
He's like that every single day, whether it's National Marquette Day or not. Crowd is back engaged. Friars still with a couple of timeouts at their disposal. Golden Eagles and the Friars, they're heading towards the double bonus.
Remember, the last time these two teams met at the Dunkin' Donuts Center was 7-point lead with about a minute and a half to go. And of course, that was when Marquette came back, won in overtime. Marcus Howard, 52 points. The rest, as they say, is history. So no lead is safe with the scoring potential that Marquette has.
It was a 95-90 win for Marquette 1 month ago today. And 4 minutes to play in Milwaukee. And Bullock, the senior, on Theo John. Trying to go down low. And Annam doing a nice job on Jackson. Cartwright for three. Way off the mark. Marcus Howard finds Annam. Now he's trapped down low. Howard streaking to the hoop, lays it too strong off the glass. Not sure he needed to be that acrobatic.
I didn't think he realized or knew he was going to be that wide open. He could just laid it in. Providence let him go.
Good backdoor cut. Annam there to help out. Blocked by Theo John. His fifth of the day. Elliott up ahead. Got fouled by Jalen Lindsay. A little bit of a bailout by Lindsay. But a chance to score points with no time coming up. Go back to Theo John.
Well, Providence is getting everything they want out of the flex. But they're catching it and wasting so much time that allows Theo John to come over and block the shot.
5 blocks off the bench for John to go with his 10 points and 6 boards. Elliott at the line makes the first. Great bench production today for Wojo's Golden Eagles.
Which is the exception, not the norm, right? This is a top-heavy scoring roster with Rousey and Howard and Hauser.
Elliott 4 for 4 on the afternoon. Rousey on the bench after being fouled out with 7 points. Corner three, Jalen Lindsay. He has been quiet. Jackson with an offensive putback. And Providence quickly quiets the crowd. Elliott ran into traffic. No whistle. And then that is such a late whistle.
Unbelievably late whistle.
And it's on Bullock, his fifth.
Here's that last basket where Sakar Annam gets caught just watching the ball. Elliott not boxing out, and that might be the bucket that's enough. Who would they call a foul on?
Bullock. That's his fifth, 11 points today in 30 minutes.
I don't understand. Wally Ratecki was underneath the basket, and he didn't blow the whistle. And I think it's his call. And he's right here next to you. Actually, now I kind of understand why it's a good no call.
Really late whistle that came in. Bullock sticks the knee out. I mean, Elliott just gets sandwiched between Jackson and Bullock.
Yeah, I think it was more Jackson, if anybody, if you're going to call a foul.
And
I think that was actually a good no call, but
that was a really late whistle.
And James Breeding saw it otherwise.
So Bullock is out, Rousey's out. You got Khalif Young, who hasn't been a factor in this game. He's got 4 personals. Hauser from Marquette has 4, but you can ill afford to have him off of the floor at this moment.
And then Malik White checked in, and he's really struggled here today. We'll see if he can give Providence some minutes.
Elliott drains another free throw. He's got 12 points.
This thing is far from over. Trying to close out a Marquette team on their home floor. I know Marcus Howard hasn't hit anything so far today, but that could end very quickly.
Five-point game in an eternity of time. 2.5 minutes to play. Only one timeout left for Marquette. Couple for Providence. There's Cartwright trying to start the offense with 8 seconds. Now Jackson, who's had a good game. Going left on Theo John, and John just a little check with that left hand.
And you know, the fans cannot like that, but had they not called it, it would have been 2 points on the layup anyway. So that's what Providence is trying to get, Isaiah Jackson being covered by Theo John, where he can go one-on-one. Jackson playing an undersized center, being guarded by kind of a true rim protector.
Jackson today, 12 points and 7 boards off the bench. makes the first. And Khalif Young will check in for Malik White. And now Providence has their bigger lineup in there. Trying to do some battle with Theo John.
But trying to do battle with Theo John. We'll see if they go zone or man. Probably have to go zone so they don't have the switching problem.
And there's the miss. And now see what kind of transition offense Marquette runs. Underneath, Khalif Young pushes Theo John down, and Khalif Young just right into the ball game, picks up number 5.
That was quick. That was quick. And not a great pass from Sam Hauser. That's one where you need to throw it to the corner where he has the angle.
Khalif Young today, only 9 minutes.
But at least he was productive. We did have 5 fouls in those 9 minutes.
5 fouls and just a couple of points. A glorified timeout.
And by the way, I did not think that was a foul. That's why he's laughing about it, because Theo John kind of fell down, because that's a really hard pass for a center when you're creating that contact.
And again, you're in a situation in double bonus for both teams where Marquette has an opportunity to score without any time bleeding down.
Unfortunately, Theo John is a horrendous free throw shooter. Just 39% on the year.
0 for 1 today. 2 big free throws coming for the freshman.
Believe it or not, second one more important than the first.
And he makes the first.
The second one allows you to set up your game. If you miss the second, obviously allows you to get a defensive rebound. Or I mean, an offensive rebound. But it also, if you make it, allows you to set your defense and kind of take a breath.
John makes ball. 2 huge free throws for the freshman from Minnesota. 4-point game. And 2 minutes to play.
Cutting off the head of the snake, not letting Kyron Cartwright get the ball.
And a timeout called by Ed Cooley. He has 1 left.
Well, a smart defensive switch. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner, but now with foul trouble plaguing the Friars, Sakar Adam simply face guarding, not allowing Kyron Cartwright to get the basketball.
Providence doesn't have to think very much about what they did here in this building last year. They had never won in the city of Milwaukee ever until January 28th of last season. Kyron Cartwright went nuts. But for Marquette, they had an opportunity to win it late. Ken Reinhardt had it blocked away by Bullock. And that was it. 79-78, the final. And they had the monkey off their back. They're trying to win 2 straight games on the road in this building.
And now they're going to have to do it without Rodney Bullock, who's fouled out. And without Khalif Young, who's fouled out. And they're trying to not let Kyron Cartwright get the basketball. Make somebody else beat them.
And they put Annam on him. It's going to be Malik White running the point. Now Cartwright has it in his hands with the freshman Greg Elliott. Going to try and D him up with his length. 10 to shoot. Jackson on John, has speed. And John forces a turnover. And then John on the other end picks up the loose ball. 2-point game. Cartwright goes right, hangs. Greg Elliott called for a foul. That looked like a great defensive possession from Elliott. But a foul bails him out with 1:02 on the clock. And Cartwright going to the line.
Here's how we got here. Watch John keeping his body in front. That's not a foul. Perfect defense. And then, believe it or not, look like Marcus Howard, a little flick from behind. Isaiah Jackson actually could get credit for the assist. And just a little unlucky bounce for Providence.
83% for Cartwright from the line. Rims out the first.
That probably wasn't a foul, so that's a ball don't lie. Kyron Cartwright, the senior, Compton, California. Originally headed to Loyola Marymount. coaching change sent him here.
1 out of 2, and we got a minute to play. And a timeout, the final one, used by Steve Wojciechowski. And if you're the Golden Eagles, you're down by 3. Where are you going?
Well, obviously you're gonna use Marcus Howard and Sam Hauser, whether they shoot or not. Providence is coming out of this timeout focused on those 2 3-point shooters. Actually looking for slips to the basket, cuts to the basket. You should either be shooting a 3 with your 2 stars or using them as a decoy and getting Sakar Annam, for example, to cut to the basket.
Theo John today has been absolutely terrific. A game of his life. 14 points, 6 boards.
What an impact. What an impact. And early in the game, running the floor offensively, but I think the biggest impact has been here. They have had no interior defense over the past year and a half or so at times for Marquette. But Theo John with 5 blocks. But the scoring is that's just icing on top of the cake.
He's doing his work, a career-high 14 points. And for Theo John, he started the second half on the floor for a good reason. He's had a terrific afternoon. 3-point game. And drawing up the play, and there's a lot of confusion going on the floor. Howard on Alpha Diallo. Step back 3, short, into the hands of Cartwright, and Cartwright calls a timeout.
I mean, you call a timeout, and look, Steve Wojciechowski has a million really good set plays, but you're in front of your own bench. You don't have to call a timeout. You can simply call a play, and because he did, Providence is locked in defensively, and then Sakar Annam forgot just a little false motion that was going to trigger the movement defensively, and he forgot. They drew it up on the board, and he just forgot. And then by the time he remembers, the whole play is out of rhythm. And boy, you credit Providence. They've done an incredible job all game long of staying in front, not getting on the hip of Marcus Howard, not giving him any open looks. Alpha Diallo was spectacular defensively.
12 points on 3 of 14 from the floor for Howard. He's made just 1 3, 1 for 6. It was his first 3-pointer of the ball game.
All right, so now you got 36.9. Technically, you're going to get the ball back, so you don't have to foul. But I would still, if Steve Wojciechowski is the former Dookie, they're going to want to extend the game. You're going to want to trap in the backcourt, you get to the front court, and foul as soon as possible. And honestly, kind of the Duke way is to foul immediately if you don't get the steal in the inbounds. Get as many possessions as possible and hope that even Kyron Cartwright, who's an 83% shooter, he just missed a free throw. Hope you get those type of reactions under pressure from Providence.
Foul trouble-wise, Hauser has 4. You're fine otherwise if you're Marquette. For Providence, their guys that were in foul trouble are already out of the game. Bullock and Young. Nobody else with more than 3. So they're in pretty good shape. And again, if this game comes down to a free throw shooting contest, which it could eventually end up to, you're 36.9 seconds left. Marquette has the advantage, but no Rousey.
But you don't have Khalif Young's a terrible free throw shooter. If Malik White gets the basketball, he hasn't taken a shot in the second half, and he's not a great free throw shooter. That's probably one of my marks. Because everybody else is mid-70s, and Kyron Cartwright's an 83%. Jalen Lindsey's only a 70% shooter. But Malik White hadn't played great, hadn't made a shot, hadn't taken a shot in the second half. That's the guy I foul. It's really hard to not take shots and then get up to the free throw line with 37 seconds to go.
Neither team has a timeout. And both teams in the double bonus. 3-point ball game. And a foul on Greg Elliott. Trying to D up Kyron Cartwright. Couldn't even get the ball in play.
He did. He grabbed his shorts. They were allowing him to be physical, but he got a little grab. Usually they let you get away with that.
And for Elliott,
there's some Providence fans that are watching at home going, this is the Big East. I thought
you a little grab of the shorts.
Right, that's nothing.
2 big free throws for Kyron Cartwright. Able to get that one to go. 4-point lead for Providence. Cartwright has missed 2 at the stripe today. And he makes a pair there. Big free throws from Kyron Cartwright. Don't have to have a 3 right here. Hauser was
shoot
fouled,
the ball.
and Hauser was fouled. He's going to shoot. It'll be 2 free throws. Official coming in, not 3, because he was not in the act of shooting. It's Rousey. He goes up with the left hand.
And he's made it. He's made it before. I mean, that was probably a foul right there, and then he gets caught. I didn't think, they call it. It's not really a foul. But if you're Hauser, if you get contact, you hear a whistle, fire that sucker up.
86% from the free throw stripe, knocks down the first.
All right, now same thing. Same rules apply. Ball goes in the basket, it's 3. You're going to face guard, but you can't let Kyron Cartwright get the basketball.
Ed Cooley has coached a great ball game today.
I would agree. That's one of the things. He's got such a big personality. Sometimes people miss the fact he's an excellent coach. There you go.
Foul on your guy Malik Young. I mean, he hasn't taken a shot in the second half. Malik White, excuse me. So White will go to the line. 71% free throw shooter.
This is a hard deal, man. When you haven't taken a shot in the second half, he didn't play until about 4 minutes to go in the second half. But this is what you practice for. This is what you run at the end of practice for. Malik makes 2 free throws or everybody runs.
And Malik missed 10 games earlier this year with a bad back. Been battling some knee problems.
And that's why you factor, regardless of percentage, especially the college game, high school game, guy hadn't played. Now you know who you're going to foul every possession if you're Marquette.
Now White knocks down the second one. 4-point game. 25 seconds to play. Nobody with timeouts. Howard underneath.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?
That ball is about ready to go down, and Theo John just took points off the board for Marquette.
You forget they're kids, man. This ball is going in. And even if it wasn't going in, what are you doing?
Now the reaction from the bench, too, told the whole story. That thing was going down. Howard gives him a slap on the backside. That's about the only thing that Theo John has not done right today. And Howard knocks down the first. It's an extra point. We'll see how big that extra point could be today.
We think it was extra. We think it's going in. We just assume Marcus Howard every time the ball leaves his hands is going in. It had the English. Again, face guard Kyron Cartwright. He can't get the ball.
And they foul Alpha Diallo this time. So Diallo will go to the free throw stripe. Fifth.
Now that's one that was probably an error from the staff where they didn't want to get up and grab Steve Wojciechowski. Sam Hauser has 4. You know you're going to trap and foul. Take him out, put anybody in the game. For Hauser, now you're operating without your 3rd leading scorer.
And for Sakar Annam, he just picked up his 5th. So now you're down your best defender on ball. So Jamal Cain will check in, the freshman. Annam fouls out. He joins Rousey on the bench. Annam did a fine job today, especially in the first half, at 8 points in that first half. But he felt more on the defensive end as Diallo is going to go to the line, where he's a 78% free throw shooter. Sophomore from Harlem.
Oh.
Friendly rim.
The difference between winning and losing is just so close. You mentioned from Harlem. Started out at Frederick Douglass Academy and then went out to Brewster. Playing the Knapsack, which is just a great prep school league.
Made both of them ice water for Diallo.
Doesn't have to be a 3. They're running that high ball screen.
Howard knifing through, and a jump ball is called, but possession stays with Marquette with 13.5 seconds.
Not a hell of a play by Malik White. Got his hand on top of the basketball, did not foul. And though it doesn't, it's just another possession here. It runs 7 seconds off the clock.
That's a great play by Malik White.
Quick little handoff.
Nice switch by Jalen Lindsey. Howard knocks down this shot. It's a 2-point game. 6.8 seconds to go. White is fouled by Howard. And now you put Malik White back on the free throw stripe. He's got to make 2.
Now, smart play from Marcus Howard, who hasn't done this the entire game, but doing it late, which didn't have a 3. You drive a big man. You try and shoot over guards. You drive against big men. But now if you're Marquette, you got to have, what's our 3-point play? What's our 2-point play? But maybe most importantly, if he misses the second free throw, we have to box out.
How big was that 1 point that Theo John potentially took off the board as Providence tries to even up the series this year? Overtime win for Marquette on the road a month ago today. White misses the first.
The most important thing is that you box out. The second most important thing is if he makes it, you have a 3-point play. And if you're Providence, under 7 seconds, you should foul immediately.
Sellout on National Marquette Day. Missed them both. Elliott has the rebound. 2-point game. And it's stolen away by Kyron Cartwright. They keep it in bounds, and the whistle blows. The senior Kyron Cartwright stole it away from Marcus Howard, and Providence comes away with a 2-point win.
This is coaching. This is coaching from Providence. They double-teamed Marcus Howard as soon as he got the basketball and corralled him. They knew Marquette had only one option to bring the ball up the court. As soon as the ball goes in, watch Jalen Lindsey. He's doubling, and Kyron Cartwright, second consecutive year, is going to get the win in Milwaukee.
They are now 2-10 in this building, and Kyron Cartwright, Alpha Diallo lead the way for the Providence Friars as they improve to 15-8 and 6-4 in conference. And they steal this win against Marquette. Boy, what a ball game it was today. Final score 77-75 for our entire crew. For Doug Gottlieb, I'm Jeff Levering saying so long from the Bradley Center. You've been watching Big East Hoops on FS1.